Hello, everybody. Today we are going to be working on lesson 4 in our first booklet, using coins, it is called. Now, for today's lesson, you are going to need 3 of your handouts. First and foremost, we're going to need the lesson itself. We're going to need the homework sheet that comes after. And at the back of your binder in the reference sheet section, I have included this page right here. Now, since today we're going to be talking a lot about change and different kinds of coins, it's really important that you understand very quickly what each of the different coins are and how much money they're worth. If at this point that is something that you struggle with, I strongly recommend that you pull this page out and have it next to you during the lesson and during the homework so that you can quickly check how much money each coin is worth. So just as a quick refresher, pennies, which we won't work with too much, if at all, because pennies aren't really used anymore. But nonetheless, pennies are worth 1 cent. Nickels are worth 5 cents. Dimes are worth 10 cents. Quarters are worth 25 cents. Loonies are $1 or 100 cents. And toonies are $2 or 200 cents. Now, in the classroom, I have a tray of a bunch of fake coins that you can have access to. All you need to do is ask. If you feel like having something a little bit more hands-on will help you with this lesson, I can give you a number of coins to work with. Okay? All right, so let's get started. Another aspect of working with money is being able to manipulate coins in the most efficient way, right? Because if you're purchasing something from a store and you need to give the person behind the counter $1 in coins, it's a lot more convenient just to give the cashier a loonie than it is to give them 100 pennies, right? Obviously, that's an extreme example. But nonetheless, using the most convenient form of change will save you a lot of time in the long run, right? So here we are talking about providing optimal change. Example 1 asks us to use pictures or words to explain 2 ways you can use coins to total $1. So there are going to be many different answers to this question, but we need to use any coins that we want to make up $1. Well, as I briefly mentioned before, the easiest way to make $1 with coins is just to use a loonie, right? A loonie itself is worth $1. So I'm just going to, as a visual, draw a circle with a $1 symbol in it. Some students might prefer to have a circle with an L in it to represent a loonie. Both work, but I'm going to do that. A single loonie will give us $1. Now, a second way that we can make $1 is perhaps using the next smallest coin, which is quarters. Now, a quarter is worth 25 cents, right? So if I have 1 quarter, I have 25 cents, which obviously isn't enough. 2 quarters is going to give me 50 cents, right? We're counting up by 25s. If you need to use a calculator to help you, you can. 2 quarters is 50 cents. 3 quarters is going to be 75 cents. And 4 quarters is going to give us $1. So the second way that we can create $1 is by using 4 quarters. Now, there are many other ways that you could answer this question, right? You could use dimes or you could use nickels. Like I said, you could even use 100 pennies if you really wanted to. It would just be less convenient. Now, question 2 is very similar. It asks us to use pictures or words to explain 2 different ways we can use coins to total 75 cents. Now, the most convenient way to do this would be to use quarters. We can no longer use a loonie because $1 would be too much. So instead we use quarters, and we can use 3 quarters in order to make 75 cents because, again, 1 quarter is 25 cents, 2 quarters is 50 cents, and 3 quarters would give us 75 cents. So option 1 is 3 quarters, which equals 75 cents. Now, I need a different way because they asked us to explain in 2 different ways. I need a different way to total 75 cents. So it can't be the exact same, but it can be similar, right? So maybe I will want to use 2 quarters instead of 3. So far, we're at 50 cents. Let me just write that down. 2 quarters equals 50 cents. So we need to make it all the way up to 75 cents, but we can't use another quarter. So let's see if we can use some of our other coins. We have dimes, nickels, and pennies that are all smaller than a quarter. Let's see if we can combine some of those to make up the last 25 cents. So a dime is worth 10 cents. So if I'm currently at 50 cents, a dime would bring me to 60 cents because 50 plus 10. Another dime would bring me to 70 cents. So 2 dimes is going to give me another 20 cents that I can add on to this. I'm not going to add a third dime because then I would have too much money. 2 quarters and 3 dimes would bring me all the way up to 80 cents. But as it is now, 2 quarters and 2 dimes, I'm only at 70 cents. So I need an extra 5 cents. And I can do that with a single nickel. Let's use purple for this one. A nickel is 5 cents. So if I add 1 nickel, then I total, and you can use a calculator to help you out here. I've been doing a lot of math in my head, but you should have a calculator next to you at all times, especially if you're struggling with this work. So 2 quarters is 50 cents, 2 dimes is 20 cents, 1 nickel is 5 cents. Adding that up all together, we have 75 cents. Okay, make sure you're practicing with this. In the next example, we work backwards. Instead of picking coins to make a certain amount of money, we are given coins, and we need to calculate how much money we have in the pile. So our first example, we have 2 quarters, which I'm going to highlight in yellow here. We have 3 nickels, which I'm going to highlight in green. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 dimes, which I'm going to highlight in blue. Now, in order to add these together, we can make our life a little bit easier if we group them together. So on the side here, I'm just going to write 2 quarters, 3, I'm going to do dimes next actually, 4 dimes, and 3 nickels. Good. So, since each quarter is 25 cents, either in your head or using a calculator, you need to figure out that 25 plus 25 gives me 50 cents. Since each dime is 10 cents, using a calculator or in your head, you need to figure out 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10. Or you could just do 10 times 4. Is 40 cents. Okay, that's a faster way of doing it. Instead of adding 10 together 4 times, just 10 times 4 is 40 cents. And then 3 nickels, each nickel is 5 cents, so 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 15 cents. So now we know that we have 50 cents in quarters, 40 cents in dimes, and 15 cents in nickels. All you need to do is add these together, and you will get 105 cents, or as we learned the other day, this is $1.05. And again, we calculated that by adding all of these together. Okay. The last question, similar to example 3, we're adding all of these coins together. Now, these are a little bit mixed up, so take your time. We have 1 toonie, we have 2 loonies. Now, you may notice that I'm very specifically going from the highest coin to the lowest. You might want to do the same. 2 loonies. We have 1 quarter. I might run out of room here. We have 1, 2, 3 dimes. And finally, we have 1, 2 nickels. So let's write how much money we have from each set of coins. 1 toonie, that's pretty straightforward. Each toonie is worth $2. So $2. 2 loonies. Since each loonie is worth $1, 1 plus 1 gives us $2 worth of loonies. 1 quarter, that's just 25 cents. 3 dimes, each dime is 10 cents, so 10 plus 10 plus 10 gives us 30 cents. And 2 nickels, 5 plus 5 is 10, so that gives us 10 cents. Now add up all of these together using a calculator or in your head. Make sure that you're using the decimal, right? In this example, I used dollar form. In the previous one, I used cent form. Both are fine. Just make sure you're being consistent. Add up all of these together and you will get $4.65. Okay, sometimes these can be a little bit tricky, so make sure that you're asking for help if you need it. And make sure that you have this coin's reference sheet available if it's helpful to remember what each coin is worth. Now, flip the page and spend some time completing the coins worksheet. Please note that this worksheet is actually 2 pages long instead of 1. So keep going and then stop once the next lesson would start. The homework is 2 pages long. Thank you.